Hello and welcome to Dukascopy TV. I'm Andrew Saks-Mcleod of Leap8, and welcome to part 4 of the Forex Industry Talk Show with Karin Zalkberg and James Azar of Carinza and Luis Sanchez of BMFN. And this time we're going to talk about cost model, and there's been so much discussion of cost model in the past in the whole industry. I'm sure you'll agree, and they're looking about how to structure the IB policies, how to give the right revenue share, and this is all still very relevant and very valid. However, now there's another cost, which is a nasty potential cost that could end up in the whole company losing their shirts, which we've now seen, which is the potential disaster that can come from having a negative customer balance exposure. So this is another cost, and we'll come to that. But in terms of cost, you have a whole range of things, not just the technology funnel, but it's also how to manage the actual corporate structure of the company. And Lewis is something of an expert in this matter.
Yes, thank you very much, Andrew. But as we say in my culture, beauty before age. So I'll pass the lead to Karin.
Thank you. You know, I'm a great believer in localization. And I think that everything have to be localized in terms of partnership, to find a local partner in each country,
Right.
and to work together in a full cooperation in order to increase sales. When I'm talking about partnership, I'm talking about introducer brokers and IBs. And I'm talking about also local partner, which can be like, for example, let's give an example of a business model of 80-20 or 70-30. Like if you are the marketing side or the broker and the full operation, and you are coming to the brilliant sales manager and a marketing department, and say, okay, let's cooperate together in localization, in Slovakia, for example.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Or in Dubai.
That's right. This is business units, that's absolutely right, and I agree with that. And I think that there's a even more now, companies are starting to look at that and get it to the point where it's still effective, but is much cheaper, because especially the A-book firms, or supposedly hybrid combination of everybody's hybrid. That's absolutely right. Now they're only just admitting now that they are, but they're hybrid. So effectively, you have that. Now you've got to keep that down, because now brokerages have got to bear in mind that they've got to put some money aside in case. Let's say I'm the retail brokerage, and I've got my technology solution, and I'm sending orders to the liquidity provider. Then suddenly something happens, like it did on January the 15th, and you see this white shirt here, which is not only been ironed, but also washed. Okay. What if the liquidity provider then comes to my office and says, now, give me your shirt? You know, you've got to provide for the event that might happen, and that has happened to a few companies. Metaphorically speaking, you know, we've seen 4 or 5 of them really lose their shirts. So how important is there a correlation between putting down the cost of running the operations, like have really efficient operations like Plus 500, which is like we talked about this earlier. Right. It's effectively a digital marketing company that has a very clever,
it's a technology company with brilliant digital marketing and a very efficient and productive sales funnel.
And it's worth £1 billion.
£1 billion.
It's an Israeli company. This is on the British Stock Exchange. It's worth £1 billion. It's a small, lean company. It's very quiet. Now, compare that, and there's no problem with them. Compare that to companies that take lots of things all over the world, and they're not managing their cost, because now everybody wants to close spread. How can it be done in such a way that all the sales funnel and the structure of the company can be maintained without being exposed to that kind of thing? What do you think?
I'll tell you what, again, if you're hiring a local operation, that depends on the marketing, how you want to market your platform. If you want to market it via the phone, and you want a one call center that is based anywhere in the world, Eastern Europe, Canada, Europe itself, or even in Asia. So of course you can open a call center and create some multiple languages desk, like Arabic language, Italian, French, Romanian, whatever, and they can approach, via the telephone, via the chat, to all those markets. Or you can say, okay, no, I'm not going to hire all those people. I'm just going to work in localization, in partnership. So I'm going to find my own people in China
and you can do
or
it
in Japan.
You can do it through these systems that we talked about earlier, like digital marketing, videos and so forth.
That's we are a decentralized company. We go
over 4,500 IBs.
And this is only one side. For example, when you were speaking about the IBs, what have we done? We have created a great technology that automatizes the process of an IB to be his own broker. So normally, when an IB goes to a broker says, I would like to be an IB, or they go to the conferences, they have this speech and they tell you which is the IB, how you're going to do, what you're going to do. They give you a brochure, they give you pens, you go to your house, and guess what? You don't understand anything.
That's exactly right.
There's a problem, there's a gap. I mean, we realize there's a gap of the need of the IB side. Okay, so what we did is we allowed them to have their own brokerage, but in an automatized way. What is an automatized way? It's a 10-minute filling of information, and then the system, our technology, will give you the whole
generates the whole solution. Yeah.
CRM, back office, demo, live environment.
Like a software provider.
But very quickly.
Completely the whole solution.
I mean,
the whole technology.
Here's how much cost are we saving over there, because this IB barely is going to call me 1 or 2 times, because then he can do the whole thing.
No setting up.
So we invested one time in the technology, which wasn't cheap.
It's not cheap, yeah.
But now it runs by itself.
So there you go.
Well, I mean, the thing with this is, and I think one of the challenges that a lot of brokers experience with IBs, and I think is they look at IBs as salespeople. And the effective way to look at IBs is entrepreneurs.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you treat them like entrepreneurs, you'll have very successful relationships with your IBs. If you treat them like outsourced sales agents, you're likely going to end up losing that IB after a few months, and he's going to go somewhere else, and so forth and so forth, and your business will never succeed.
You have to sell him the dream, exactly like you were selling.
Remember in the past, in US, when people ask you, what are you working? And you say, I'm a broker. Okay, really, you're a broker. But actually, what the broker does, the broker introduces the business to the broker's house.
Right.
So we give the opportunity to people to be considered, I have my own brokerage, I have my broker, and I am a broker.
Right.
But in 10, 15 minutes.
Right, but then again, you have another factor, and I've seen this many times, I don't know if it's still the case, but it used to be that if you have a guy who wants to start up really quickly, and then he has to pay his $5,000 licensing fee to brand the MetaTrader platform.
Now it's $6,000.
He then has to, it's gone up. So it used to be $5,000, it's gone up. Then you have to go to your platform, you've got your platform license, it's expensive. Then you've got 13,000 integration for all, and then weeks to develop all the website.
And then you have your back office, your compliance, and all that other stuff that while you're onboarding an IB.
They've given up and gone to another business plan by then. So it's a case of losing the IBs.
Imagine you're a master IB, as we were speaking. Okay, you may go to the whole procedure and everything. But what if you wanted to start low and then escalate eventually? You need a tune-up, one-time solution that gives you all the tools so you can start now, today.
That's right.
That's the reason why we have over 4,500 IBs.
And actually, this is very important, because what it's doing is, like I said at the beginning, if you've got to keep the cost down Lewis is looking at it a different way, which is smart, because you have concentrating on keeping the cost down of your own business as a brokerage that has IBs. But what that is doing is keeping the cost for the IB down, which means that it's transferring the whole...
so it's easy for him. That's smart, actually.
Well, he's transitioning the money and his focus towards recruiting clients for the firm rather than the setup portion of it.
That's right.
And that's a challenge in today's cost model, because as you were saying earlier, like, you have a lot of fat operations that are built on an old school, very, I'm not saying it's not successful. It's for a lot of, fat brokers with fat operations, they make very good money using it this way, and they're very happy with it. But post January 15th, and in today's consumer, and with all the mediums that we spoke about earlier, whether it be digital marketing or whether it be interacting with the client, there's so many other ways to find that customer and not be on that same 5-10 websites and talk and target those same 100,000 customers and have those same 100,000 customers get a call from 15
Everybody.
different brokers.
Well, this is what's happened to affiliate marketing now. The affiliate marketing channels have become centralized, and all the same companies are on the same media platform, and it's kind of similar content, very similar things. So it's hard to distinguish between them all, and they switch off. So if you have a system like that, it engages one specific end user with one specific company on a very graphic and very well organized medium. So that's actually a very, very interesting way of doing it. So we'll actually move on to investigating that a little bit further in the next part of the show.
You see, you mentioned something that I want to emphasize right now. You talked about affiliate market. Now, that's exactly what the broker needs to do. Exactly what the affiliate does.
Right.
Because I know personally, affiliates that are, broadcasting and doing some video in order to convince the client to register
They're
and to
using all
deposit.
They do it more than
Why
brokers do.
you have to do it that way? Why not to do it yourself?
Right.
Why to be dependent on
Very few do.
on
Why
affiliates?
rely on
The-
third parties who
yes.
today
and
or
to pay
tomorrow?
so much money in CPA. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That
Go ahead.
today or tomorrow could go, somewhere else and generate that crowd, and then today it's with broker A, tomorrow it's broker
That's
B,
right. And then the whole lot,
and then it's
the whole lot
broker
goes
X.
somewhere else. That's the
Yes.
problem.
That's the big question mark. So
That's the problem. The whole lot goes somewhere else. So we'll
Absolutely.
carry on with that in the next part. So join us again for part 5 of the Forex Industry Talk Show. I'm Andrew Saks-Mcleod from Leaprate. This is Dukascopy TV. Thank you for watching.